Do you think people would notice if you vanished today? Would your friends and family search for you, or just move on? Let me know in the comments. Immediate silence, the first hours without you, the last moment, a vanishing without a trace. It happens in an instant. One moment, you are here, breathing, thinking, existing. The next, you are gone. No dramatic event, no explosion of light, no rip in space and time. Just gone. At first, the absence is imperceptible. The world doesn't react. The coffee on your desk remains warm. Your unfinished sentence hangs in the air, unheard by anyone who might have been listening. If you were in the middle of typing a message, the cursor still blinks at the last letter you typed. Take a moment to think about this dot. If you vanished right now, what would be the last thing you did? Would it be meaningful, or just another moment in an ordinary day? The first few minutes, a world that continues. The room you were in remains unchanged. If you had music playing, it keeps going, oblivious to your absence. A gentle breeze still rustles the curtains. The hum of distant traffic continues as if nothing significant has occurred. For the world at large, nothing feels different. If you were on a call, the person on the other end assumes you muted yourself or stepped away. If you were at work, your colleagues assume you're busy. If you were supposed to meet someone, they might check the time, thinking you're running late. In these first few minutes, you still exist in the minds of others. Your absence hasn't yet registered dot. But soon, the first small disruptions begin to form. The digital ghost. Unanswered messages, unread notifications. Somewhere, your phone buzzes. A message from a friend. Hey, are you coming? It sits unread. Then another. Hello? At first, no one thinks much of it. Maybe you're in the shower. Maybe you left your phone on silent. Maybe you're just busy dot. But as time passes, the silence stretches unnaturally long. If you usually respond quickly, the lack of reply becomes noticeable. If you rarely text back anyway, your absence might go unnoticed for hours dot. Think about your own habits. How long could you stay silent before someone found it strange? An hour? A day? More? Leave a comment with your guess. The unfinished routine. Anomalies begin to emerge. The world is built on small, predictable routines. And when you suddenly disappear, those routines begin to crack. If you were supposed to pick up a call, it remains unanswered. If you had a meeting, people start to wonder where you are. If you live with someone, they might knock on your door. At first, their reaction is casual. Maybe they stepped out. Maybe they're sleeping. Maybe they just forgot. But time moves forward, and you don't reappear. The first true moment of unease arrives. Here's something interesting to consider. What's one daily habit you have that, if left undone, would make someone immediately notice your absence? Drop it in the comments. I'm curious. When the silence becomes unsettling. The first real disturbance comes when someone expects a response from you and doesn't get one. A friend might call, then call again. A family member might text, "Are you okay?" This is the first time your absence becomes an active thought in someone's mind. For some, it might take hours. For others, only minutes. If you're someone who constantly updates your social media, posts stories, or sends memes to your friends, your silence becomes unnatural very quickly. If you're more withdrawn, it may take much longer before anyone realizes something is wrong. The first search. A name called into the void. At some point, someone tries to reach you in the real world. They call your phone. It rings, then goes to voicemail. They call again. Same result. Maybe they send another text. "Are you there?" They might check your last online status, but there is nothing dot. If you live with family, they might peek into your room, expecting you to be there. But you're not. The bed is still made. Your belongings are untouched. The air feels heavier. Here's a thought experiment. Imagine you're the one looking for someone who suddenly vanished. Where would you check first? Their last text, their home, their workplace. Think about it, and let me know in the comments. The digital footprint. A life that still exists but doesn't move. As the hours pass, another eerie realization emerges. Your online world is frozen. Your online world is frozen. Your last Instagram story remains unchanged. Your last text sits unread. Your playlist is still active, but no new songs are added. Your last seen status stays locked in time. It's unsettling. In the digital world, you still exist, but you are no longer there. This is often where the first real wave of concern begins. A friend might try reaching out to someone else. Hey, have you heard from them? A chain reaction starts. Someone calls someone else. Messages start bouncing between people. The quiet absence you left behind is now turning into a noticeable void. Who notices first? The pattern of concern. Different people in your life will notice at different times. Your closest friends may be the first to realize something is wrong. Your family might assume you're out. But as hours pass, worry grows. Your coworkers or classmates might not notice until the next day. At some point, someone takes an extra step. Maybe checking your last location or knocking on your door. The first real search begins. This is when your absence is no longer just a thought, but a growing concern. The echo of absence, a world that moves on without you. Despite this, the world does not stop. The city still moves. Trains arrive and depart. The sun sets and rises again. The vast majority of people, strangers passing by, coworkers who barely know you, acquaintances who see your posts but never interact, continue with their day, never realizing you are gone. This is where the idea of existence takes on a strange weight. How many people in your life truly know your presence enough to notice your absence? Would someone miss you immediately? Or would it take a day, maybe two, before anyone truly wondered where you were? Take a moment to reflect on that. And if this video has made you think, let me know by dropping a comment below. What comes next? Your absence is no longer unnoticed. People are now looking for you. In the next section, we'll explore the first moments of realization. The point where absence turns into alarm. If you want to hear what happens next, make sure to subscribe and stay for the journey. Until then, how long do you think it would take for someone to truly start looking for you? Let me know in the comments. Echoes in memory. How long are we remembered? In the hours following your disappearance, those around you will likely still hold on to vivid memories. Friends, family, and acquaintances will speak your name, laugh at shared memories, and perhaps even mourn. But as time progresses, those memories begin to lose their sharpness, fading into the background of everyday life. The once present reminders of your existence, your laughter, your voice, slowly dissolve. Life continues, and the world moves forward without you, the edges of your memory softening with each passing hour. Have you ever wondered what it would be like for your memory to slowly fade away from the minds of those you've known? When would they stop thinking about you in the same way? Would they hold on to the details of your personality, your quirks, your voice, your passions, or would it be the general feeling you left behind? Take a moment to reflect on how long you think your memory would stay alive in the minds of the people closest to you. In the days following your absence, your memory is still strong in the hearts of those who loved you. But even in these early moments, the reality of the world without you starts to settle in. Friends may still recall your favorite jokes, or the way you lit up a room with your energy. Family members may gather together, telling stories, remembering the warmth of your presence. But life moves on, as it always does. Routines resume, new experiences are made, and slowly, the weight of your absence becomes less tangible. It's not that you're forgotten, but rather that time and life naturally shift focus to the present. How long do you think it would take before the memory of you starts to fade from the forefront of people's minds? Do you believe that after a certain point, even the people closest to you would gradually stop recalling your voice or the little things that made you uniquely you? Think about this for a moment. If someone close to you passed away today, how long would it take for their presence to become a distant echo in your own mind? Would it be weeks, months, years, or perhaps even longer? The months turn into years, and with time, the immediacy of grief dulls. The friends who once shared every detail of your life will find new people to talk to, new connections to make. Your stories might still be told at family gatherings, but they will be fewer and farther between. The memory of your voice and laughter will soften until they are nothing more than faint impressions, fading into a collection of feelings rather than clear, specific moments. Your image, once so vivid in the minds of those who knew you, will blur into the background of their everyday lives. And eventually, for most people, you'll become a name they may remember only in the quietest, most unexpected moments. Does it worry you to think about how easily memories fade? How quickly someone can slip from the forefront of your mind, replaced by new faces, new experiences? But perhaps there's something more profound in this truth. Even as memories fade, they don't disappear entirely. Sometimes it's not the details that remain, but the emotions, those warm feelings that come with the memory of someone. The kindness you showed, the love you gave, the moments that felt timeless. These things stay behind, lingering like the aftertaste of a sweet memory, even if the person is no longer physically present. Think about how long you would remember someone who had a profound impact on your life. Would you still think of them in years to come? When you hear a particular song or walk past a place that was important to them, do you still feel the warmth of their presence? The lasting power of those small things, the intangible moments, is what makes us truly immortal in the minds of others. The details may fade, but the emotional impact lingers. As the years pass, your memory may no longer be actively kept alive in conversations. Friends might not speak your name often, and your image may not be as vivid in their minds. But that doesn't mean you are forgotten. There's a difference between fading into the background and being erased. You may no longer be a constant presence in their thoughts, but there will always be a piece of you, carried forward by the love you gave and the impressions you left on their lives. Think about how your own memories of lost loved ones are kept alive. What part of them do you still remember? Is it their voice, a specific gesture, or is it simply the way they made you feel? Even when the details of their lives begin to slip from memory, the emotion stays. It's the feeling that remains, something that doesn't vanish. And in that sense, we never truly disappear. Have you ever found yourself in a place, hearing a song, or smelling a scent that instantly brings someone from your past back to life in your mind? Those fleeting moments are the echoes of their memory. And while the years may erase the sharp edges of our existence, the echoes remain. Those feelings, those imprints on the people you touched, continue to ripple out long after you're gone. You may not be a visible presence, but your influence can remain embedded in the hearts of others. Do you believe that the impact you leave behind will endure, even when your name is no longer spoken? What's the legacy you'd like to leave? A legacy of love, kindness, or something else? Take a moment to share your thoughts. How do you think people will remember you, even when time has softened the details? The ripple effect. How one absence changes everything. When you think about your absence, it might feel like the world would continue on as it always has. After all, life is constantly moving, constantly evolving, and people seem to adapt to whatever comes their way. But what if you disappear? What if the threads of connection you weave through the lives of others are suddenly cut off? What happens then? In the moments after your absence, the ripple effect begins. It starts small, a phone call that doesn't come, a seat at the table that remains empty. The small, seemingly insignificant moments begin to pile up, and gradually, the void left by your absence grows larger. People begin to notice the subtle shifts in their daily lives. The tiny routines that are now off-kilter, the space that's left unfilled. Your absence might not be felt all at once, but it will slowly echo through the fabric of the lives you once touched. Think about the last time someone close to you was gone for an extended period. Perhaps they went on a long trip, or something kept them away for a while. Even in the short term, Their absence left a mark. Maybe you missed their advice during a tough decision, or their presence in the room when you needed support. That small, yet significant gap in your life was a quiet reminder of how important they were. Now imagine this on a grander scale. The world without you. Would the people closest to you feel that absence instantly? Or would it take time for the full weight of your absence to settle in? Your absence doesn't just leave a hole in the lives of those closest to you. It has the potential to change entire dynamics. Perhaps you were the glue holding together a group of friends, the one who always made sure to reach out, the one who remembered birthdays and milestones. Without you, those bonds may weaken, even if unintentionally. Friendships that once felt effortless might drift, and new connections may be made, but they'll never quite replace the ones that existed before. The shifts won't always be noticeable at first, but over time, those who shared your space will feel the absence in ways they didn't expect. Family dynamics may also change, especially in the absence of someone who played a central role. If you were the mediator in family disagreements, the one who organized gatherings, or simply the person who made the space feel comfortable, your absence might throw everyone off balance. Those who once relied on your presence to guide the course of conversations or decisions might struggle to fill. Those who once relied on your presence to guide the course of conversations or decisions might struggle to fill the gap, while others may step in to try to hold everything together. The subtle shifts caused by your absence ripple out and impact the balance of the family structure. Over time, people may find new ways to adjust and adapt, but the absence of your unique influence will always leave a trace. The ripple effect also extends into the professional world. Perhaps you were the one who consistently pushed projects forward, or your presence was key to maintaining positive energy in the workplace. Without you, that dynamic would inevitably shift. While a workplace can continue to function without one person, the team's energy, productivity, and overall spirit may change in ways that are hard to quantify. The collaboration you once contributed to, the connections you made with clients, or the work culture you helped shape might no longer be the same. The connections you forged in your everyday life may seem small at first, but each one creates its own set of ripples. When you touch someone's life, whether it's in a casual conversation, a piece of advice, or simply a shared laugh, it creates an impact. These moments can stretch far beyond what you initially perceive, as others take your words, your energy, and your influence and pass it on to others. Think about the small things you do on a daily basis that may seem insignificant, but to others, they may carry great meaning. When you're gone, the echoes of those moments continue to influence the lives of those left behind. Even after the immediate shock of your absence has passed, the long-term ripple effect continues. In the years following, your absence might not be felt on a daily basis, but its presence will still linger. Perhaps a family member will decide to take a different career path, inspired by something new. Perhaps a family member will decide to take a different career path, inspired by something you once said. Maybe a friend will take a new direction in life, encouraged by your example. These subtle shifts are the long-term ripples, the changes that continue to unfold long after you're gone. Your absence has the power to impact the course of others' lives in ways that aren't always immediately visible, but their trajectory will never be the same. While these ripples can seem imperceptible, they are profound. Every action you take, every interaction you have, creates an invisible thread between you and the people around you. Even when you're no longer physically present, those threads remain. They continue to weave their way through the lives of others, shaping and influencing them in ways you might never fully understand. As you reflect on this, take a moment to think about your own life. Who has had an impact on you, even in small ways? How have their actions, words, or presence altered the course of your own life? You may not always see the full extent of their influence, but it's there, woven into the fabric of who you are. And perhaps, in a way, that's the true power of existence, not necessarily in how long we are remembered, but in how our absence continues to change the world, long after we're gone. Can you think of someone whose absence has affected your life? How did their absence change things for you? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about how our lives are shaped by the presence and absence of others. The cosmic perspective. Does the universe notice? As we contemplate the impact of our absence, it's natural to ask, if we were to disappear from this world, would the universe even notice? Would the stars, the planets, or the vast expanse of space care about the subtle shifts in the lives we leave behind? The universe, so vast and incomprehensible, seems indifferent to the lives of individuals. After all, we are but specks in the grand cosmic scale. Yet, in that very thought lies an intriguing paradox. Does the universe need to notice us to prove that our existence matters? In the grand sweep of time and space, we may seem insignificant, like a fleeting moment in the vast timeline of the universe. The stars burn for millions of years, galaxies drift and collide, and black holes exist in complete silence, consuming everything in their path. Amidst all this cosmic drama, we are just one fleeting blink, one fleeting heartbeat of existence. The idea of our absence affecting the grand order of the universe feels almost laughable, doesn't it? However, this perspective leaves something crucial out of the equation. The fact that we exist at all. Our very consciousness, our ability to question, to wonder about our place in the universe, is a unique gift. While the universe might not notice us in the way we might hope, our presence has meaning on a different level. We are the universe's way of looking inward, of contemplating itself. In this sense, our consciousness is a reflection of the cosmos, and that in itself is profound. In the absence of one person, the universe might not tremble in any dramatic way. There won't be a cosmic ripple that shakes the stars or causes a shift in the planet's orbits. But just because the universe doesn't acknowledge us in the way we might want, doesn't mean we are not connected to it. The universe operates on a scale far beyond our comprehension, and yet, within it, we hold a special place. The fact that we are able to ask the question, does the universe notice, suggests that we are intrinsically linked to it in ways we cannot fully explain. When we look at the stars or the night sky, we see a pattern that has been unfolding for billions of years, yet it feels remarkably familiar. Our ancestors looked at the same stars, and those before them did the same. There is a timeless connection between us and the cosmos, a quiet, unspoken bond. The stars may not notice us in any obvious way, but they are part of the same universe we inhabit. In a very real sense, the universe is a reflection of us, and we are a reflection of the universe. What if we expand our view even further? In a universe that stretches over billions of light years, is it possible that our absence would have a ripple effect beyond our understanding? What if the subtle changes we make in our lives, our choices, our actions, create vibrations that resonate in ways we cannot perceive, traveling across space and time? While it might seem implausible to think that one person could affect the stars, perhaps our absence is just one small piece of a larger puzzle. We can also consider the idea that everything is interconnected. In quantum physics, the concept of entanglement suggests that particles, once connected, remain linked across vast distances. This means that the actions of one can influence another, even if they are light years apart. Could our actions, our existence, be like these entangled particles? Maybe, just maybe, our lives and our absences create subtle shifts, not just in the lives of those we leave behind, but in the very fabric of existence itself. On a more practical level, think about how every action we take is part of a larger chain of events. When we make a choice, we influence the people around us, who in turn influence others, creating a ripple that extends far beyond what we could ever see. Perhaps, on a cosmic scale, this chain of influence stretches far beyond what we can understand. Our absence may feel small in the context of the universe, But in the context of everything interconnected, it could be part of something much larger. This idea ties back to the notion of the butterfly effect, how small actions can have far-reaching consequences. The flap of a butterfly's wings in one part of the world could, in theory, set off a chain of events that leads to significant changes in distant places. Similarly, your presence, your life, your choices, no matter how small, could be influencing events on a cosmic scale, even if we can't see the connections right away. Though we may never know the full extent of our place in the cosmos, the very fact that we can ponder our existence and the universe's response to it suggests that we do matter. Even if the stars don't pause their eternal dance to notice our absence, our consciousness and ability to reflect on the world around us are remarkable. Maybe that's the point. The universe doesn't need to notice us for our existence to have meaning. The very act of being aware of the universe, of reflecting on our place within it, gives our lives profound significance. As you think about the vastness of the universe, consider this. Does it matter if the universe notices us? Or is it enough to know that we are part of something much larger, a grand cosmic dance that has been unfolding long before we were born and will continue long after we're gone? Share your thoughts in the comments. How do you view your connection to the universe, and does it change how you see your own existence? A comforting thought. You were always here. As we reflect on the concept of our absence and what would happen if we vanished, it's essential to comfort ourselves with an idea that holds a great deal of power. Even if we disappear from the physical world, we were always here. Our presence, the energy we emit, and the impact we have on others transcend time and space. Consider for a moment how we live on in the hearts and minds of others. Every interaction, every word spoken, every moment shared is imprinted on the people around us. We might not always see it, but the ripple effect of our actions reverberates across the lives of those we encounter. Whether we leave a deep, lasting mark or a small, fleeting memory, we are always here in some form. Our influence continues, even in our absence, carried by the people who remember us. When you think about the people in your life, whether they are still with us or have passed on, you can feel their presence in the stories shared, in the traditions they've left behind, or in the lessons they've imparted. The impact of their lives continues to shape our thoughts and actions, long after their physical presence has faded. It's not just about the grand gestures or monumental moments. It's also about the small, quiet ways they made us feel seen, heard, and loved. Their memory lingers in the choices we make, in the things we cherish, and in the way we move forward in life. This notion of being always here extends beyond just the memories we leave behind. It encompasses everything we give to the world. Every kind word, every act of kindness, every small gesture. These things remain in the world, quietly influencing the direction of others' lives. Whether it's a smile to a stranger or a piece of advice shared with a friend, these acts ripple outward, often in ways we may never fully understand. What we give to the world doesn't vanish. It remains as part of the continuous flow of human experience. And even though our physical bodies may no longer walk the earth, there is something about us, our energy, our essence, that is always present. The energy we create through our interactions and contributions cannot simply be erased. According to the laws of physics, energy cannot be destroyed. It can only change forms. This means that a part of us is forever integrated into the ongoing cycle of life. It might take new shapes, it might merge with the universe in ways we can't see, but it is never lost. There's a deeper, almost spiritual aspect to this. Our existence isn't confined to a single lifetime. Instead, it is part of an eternal, interconnected web that transcends the physical realm. When we touch others' lives, we are weaving threads into a greater tapestry of human experience, one that stretches far beyond our time on this planet. Our thoughts, our emotions, our creativity, all of these are gifts that live on in the world, even when we are no longer here to witness their effects. Now, Take a moment to think about how you are affecting the world right now. Have you ever had a small interaction that you later realized changed someone's life in a meaningful way? Perhaps a word of encouragement when they were feeling down, or a moment of understanding when they needed it most. These moments accumulate and grow, shaping the course of someone's life, sometimes even in ways that seem invisible. But those who were touched by your presence will remember you. They will carry the lessons you've taught them, and they will pass them on to others. This comforting thought extends into a cosmic perspective as well. If you think about the universe itself, you'll realize that everything is connected. Our presence, our energy, has been part of the ongoing movement of life since the beginning of time. The stars, the oceans, the trees, the soil, they all carry with them the energy of the universe, constantly transforming and evolving. In a similar way, we contribute to this greater cosmic flow, and when we're gone, we become part of the cycle that continues without end. The universe doesn't notice our absence in a traditional sense, but in a deeper, more profound way, it acknowledges the energy we contribute to the whole. And even beyond the natural world, our digital presence is another way we remain here long after we're gone. Whether it's social media, videos, photographs, or any other form of online content, we leave behind traces of ourselves that can last for years. These digital footprints are another way we remain connected to the world, even when we're no longer physically present. We may not always be aware of the people we've touched through these mediums, but we are creating a lasting presence that can be revisited and shared. So, as you reflect on your own place in the world, remember that you are never truly gone. You are always here, in the memories you've left behind, in the energy you've shared, and in the impact you've made. Your essence lives on through those who remember you, and through the beautiful, interconnected web of life that continues to unfold long after you've moved on. If this thought resonates with you, leave a like to share the positive energy.